like we're going to be making love here in a minute, Cody. Taylor goes, hey man, we want Gator content. Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. Today we are in the studio talking all things NFL with, of course, myself, Shelton P. Walker, and being my co-host today, Mr. Cody, the Professor, coming all the way from the War Room in Minnesota. Boys and girls, happy to have all of you here. Happy Sunday afternoon. We are just days away from some Florida Gator football. Obviously, we're talking things NFL, but I'm excited, so I'm not going to hold any punches on that because I'm fired up for a little football, boys and girls. We had some good football this weekend. College on Saturday, NFL played, some of the big boys played, so we got a little bit of a taste of what was going to happen coming up. And, we're going to talk about the Jaguars. We're going to talk about how the roster, the 53-man roster, who's going to make it, who's not going to make it. We're going to talk about Trey Lance being traded. Kind of interesting. Give you guys a little bit of an AR update, Hard Knocks update, rookie roundup, and then we're going to do the giveaway. So I know some people probably aren't going to be here for the Shane Matthews giveaway, but this is the third giveaway that we have been doing since Thursday, doing a giveaway a day. Maybe we might miss one day. I'm trying to think how much stuff I have left until the game on Thursday. So if you guys aren't following along or paying attention to it, you're missing out. Today we're giving away a Brandon Spikes signed photo. So how you can tune into and win that is after this live show. You can comment on this video, count me in, okay? And that's how you can enter yourself into the drawing for Brandon Spikes. If you're watching right now, wait till the live stream's over, then comment, and then we're going to be making a post to come back and comment on this live stream so people can come watch our beautiful faces. So USC's defense is trash. It didn't look great. Looked like it would have normally. But boys and girls, happy to have all of you here. Mr. Nobody, Devil Dog, how you doing? Chris Sorley, little bitch. Tony Gemma, Anthony Z, Ed DePriest, and Taylor Persinger, how you guys doing? Happy to have all of you here. Make sure you guys smash the like button. We're 50 away from 16,000 subs. Goal was to get there by Thursday. We're inching just a little bit closer, big dog, so I'm loving every minute of it. The Jaguars, Codes, cooking away, yeah?
Yeah, looking pretty good. Let's go first off with Big Tank Bigsby. Now, he did have a fumble on the 1 yard line, right about the 1 yard line. And, he was truly visibly upset with himself. He, put his hands on his helmet and was just didn't even want to get up after that. But he did bounce back. He did drive him down the next drive. He drove him down and then set up an easy run for ETN to score a tutty. So TNT is in full effect. Obviously, the fumble it's gonna happen, but to see him turn around and keep feeding Tank and not lose faith in him, that's the best thing for that young man.
Yeah, man, Tank looked really good. I've been talking with my buddies. I keep saying Tank's going to be the number one RB1, and he's saying it's blasphemy. And I get it. I'm obviously reaching here a little bit. I want him to do well, and I think he's going to do well. He looked really good. The running back core looked phenomenal. Tank Bigsby was just knocking down grown men linebacker like he's been doing this forever. My buddy, he's a Miami fan. He said they started their second string defense. I don't know how true that is. And the Jaguars ones didn't play as long as we thought they would, because if I remember correctly, Dougie P said they'd be playing the minimum their first full 2 quarters, and if he felt like they needed more, they'd come out. They played like a quarter and a half, if that. So maybe he thought, okay, well, they're playing against the twos. I'm not going to waste their time anymore. But I love the way the running back group looked. Tank Bigsby, again, looks like he's been there since day one, and just a reminder that this is why the likes of Dalvin Cook, Josh Jacobs, and Saquon and Leonard Fournette are having a hard time keeping Clyde hard time keeping a job, because somebody just came right out of college is just running cats over. And my goodness, again, that addition, those two guys. We're gonna go over the depth chart here in just a minute. The running back room is redonkulous. 4 guys seem to be making the roster, and all of them, when they signed these 2 guys, Ernest Johnson and Jamal Hasty, Jag fans were excited for those signees. So those are depth. Love it every minute of it, man.
Yeah, it looks like real fast, Jason Montgomery. Yeah, we can shout out happy birthday to Ashley, no problem.
Absolutely. Happy birthday, Ashley.
All right, let's get into the Jags defense. Now, the defense. Now, I'm going off of just the ones here. I'm not gonna dissect the twos and threes. This is for the ones. This preseason update, guys. The defense bends but doesn't break. If they get into the red zone and they seem to tighten up and force defense to kick threes, which is good, and that's what you're going to want. They also had a couple ints throughout the game, which was good. Versus the second quarterback, not versus Tua, but the defense did seem to kind of they gave up some plays, and then when it got close to the end zone, they really tightened up. Now, you don't want that all the time. You don't want a bunch of yardage being pushed on you. So that's something they're going to have to tighten up. But looking pretty good for the third preseason game. I do wonder if they are going to have a pass rusher outside of Allen. Again, I saw nothing.
Yeah, and again, we're going to talk about the depth chart here in just a little bit, but look, I was trying to look at the defense. I'm watching the game yesterday a little bit, trying to get a sense of how we're going to look. And again, look at the schedule. No one really cares about how, going undefeated or whatnot, but you got to think the Jaguars are going to be a threat to be reckoned with. And home field advantage is going to be huge, especially what we saw last year having to go to Kansas City. If we're able to hold home field advantage throughout the playoffs, that would be massive for the Jags because we know how Duval gets. It gets a little chilly here during the playoffs, but the Jag fans would be absolutely berserk. And with the division the way that it is, and with how good they are looking, and with them having to make a tough decision come Tuesday, which is the final day for the roster cutoff, we're going to come down to the wire here with some linebacker and edge rushing positions, possibly a first-rounder draft pick 3 years ago, maybe getting the boot as well. And look, I think we talk with all the time for Gator football, right? When there's a competition going on, is it a good competition, meaning that the talent is just that good that you have to get rid of people, or is everyone that bad and you don't know who you're going with? I think the Jags have the good part where the talent's just that good, and they're really kind of just getting nitpicky on who do we want to keep, where do we see the upside on these things.
Yeah, for sure. Secondary looked pretty good too, I will say. Now, they did give up one blown defensive play. The first string did, but they clamped down at the end of the red zone and they got it done with just 3. But that's gonna happen. That mixed communication is gonna happen early in the season. It's gonna happen even game 1 and game 2. Those guys are reacting and they just kind of got to find their stride. But the overall health of the secondary looks very promising to me.
For sure.
Third, I didn't write it down in the notes, but I will tell you, I saw it in the comments too. The Calvin Ridley catch truly shows why you went out and got that guy.
Look, I think just watching that play again, I think I loved it because you saw the confidence in Trevor to just throw it up and let that guy do his work. And yeah, again, the confidence in why you signed somebody like that, just the professionalism to get both feet in and to understand where he was at. And again, we're getting super granular here. That's what we're going to do. But I loved it. Again, there was a check down wide open, but Trevor felt the need to, sling it up. I'm hoping he has his confidence going into the regular season game. We talked about this, I think, week 1, where he rolled out, made kind of a lackadaisical throw. But my defense was like, look, they're trying things. Is he going to have that same energy heading into the regular season? I hope he does. Look, I think you got to practice the way that you're going to play. But yeah, I loved it. I loved seeing him toss it up there, and great catch by Calvin Ridley. That was the drive that Tanks fumbled, though, wasn't it?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
I will say this though. I don't think the wide receiver core prior of what you guys had before you retooled it, any of them make that kind of catch.
For sure. And great point from Muddy here. He says a lot of teams in the AFC have issues with help, which helps the Jags. Buffalo has internal issues because Diggs has requested a trade. That's confirmed.
Yes, Diggs has requested a trade.
Which hurts for me because I drafted him. The Bengals, Joey B is hurt, and the Chiefs, Jones is sitting out due to contract issues. So, look, I mean, winning back-to-back is always tough. And so, that's a good point. Again, we mentioned that the division is in shambles. Good thing for the Jags. The Buffs are struggling. But you can saw the Jets and the Dolphins that are going to be a force to be reckoned with this year, even though we just got done smashing them. But those teams are still going to be hard to get through. So we'll see. And again, repeating for the Chiefs is going to be even harder. But real quick, super chat from Jason Montgomery here, man. $2 says, thank you for shouting out, guys. She's smiling. Love it. No problem, man. Again, happy birthday to Ashley. That's awesome. Again, drop a like, boys, and subscribe if you are new. 50 away from 16,000 would really mean a lot if you could help us get there. All right. What we're all here for, roster projections. I spelled projections wrong. It is what it is. Oh, boy. Let's pull up our list here, and let's go through it. So, obviously, the Jags seem to be going with 2 running backs this year again instead of 3. You and I were just talking about this precast. The reason for why is it? Because the Cowboys seem to be going with 3, as it just traded for Trey Lance, and we'll get into that. You said the Vikings are sticking with 2. Other teams also have 2, but some go with 3. But the Jags will be going with 2. So Nathan Rourke will be on the free agency, and CJ Beathard. And look, CJ, I mean, he's looked solid. So a solid 1-2. Again, somebody like that is like what Chad Henne was to Patrick last year. Hey, you got to sit out for a drive. No big deal. This guy's a plug and chug. We'll be just fine for a drive or 2 with this guy at the helm. So feels good. I love the depth at quarterback. There is a little bit of a thought like, hey, Nathan Rourke, he showed some flashes, but I think we both know that CJ is definitely the guy, and I'm happy with him being the guy as well.
Yeah, and you can always you can, if you really like a guy, you can put him on the practice squad. There's some new rules going in to where you can put him on the practice squad, and then you'd be able to elevate him if something were to happen. Worst case scenario,
Sure.
if you don't want to lose them, if you don't want to try the waiver deal. So,
and they might do that. I think that you got to think they like him a lot, so that'll be something to keep an eye on as well. Moving on to the running back room, we were kind of already hinting towards that. Etienne, Bigsby, Hasty, and Johnson. Hell of a running back room. Honestly, gives me Gator vibes with just the health in the running back room, and it has to excite you as a Jaguars fan. For the wide receivers, the projected chart right now is Ridley, Kirk, Zay Jones, Agnew, and then Parker Washington and Tim Jones seem to be rounding out that top 6 spot. And that has been a dogfight this offseason as well for that position.
Yeah, for sure. That's a position which you might see some movement too. If they like a guy that has gotten cut from another team, they might go in and scoop up somebody. So this is what as of right now. But if somebody gets cut, I don't know if Tim Jones still has the job.
That's your pick to get dropped for the wide receivers, then?
Yeah, I think the top 3 are solid, but anybody below that, I'm not sure if you get a guy that you really like and he gets cut from a different team, I think that you can swap any of those 3 out.
I mean, we're getting down to the nitty gritty at that point. So it's a good problem to have, like we kind of mentioned before. It's not like we're worried about those first top 2 spots. We're just talking about the bottom where it's like, hey, anybody could win this job.
Yeah, and sometimes, guys, roster cuts isn't even the fault of the player. The player can have an excellent camp, an excellent preseason. It just comes down to spots. Do you want to keep 2 quarterbacks instead of 3? Well, if you do 3, then you got to cut a guy, and usually it's a wide receiver or something like that, easily replaceable.
Absolutely.
So not all roster cuts are the same.
For sure. Let's skip down to outside linebackers. So Josh Allen, Trevon Walker, Abdullah, and the last spot, it looks like Jordan Smith is going to push out Chase On, who again was a first-round draft pick in 2020, and kind of slowed down a little bit. Abdullah was a 5th-round draft pick, I believe, this year, and has showed some great signs. So you hate to see somebody who we drafted again in the first round just 3 years ago get cut, but that seems to be where we're at right now.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this like our second episode, that he was really on the bubble, and if he didn't show anything this year, he was going to get cut, right? We've kind of been hinting at it.
And he was being praised at the beginning of the camp as the number 3 guy, but he just hasn't really exploded out and made himself stand out. And look, is that a good thing to have? I don't know. We'll see what Abdullah can do. Again, he's a rook. But if he's beating out somebody and Jordan Smith's beating him out as well too, then good riddance. It's time to move on. It's kind of where we're at with it. Next thing is linebacker. So Look, this one is going to be hit close to home for us. It looks like on the line, it's between Shaq and Ventrell Miller. Ventrell Miller, coach just got me a jersey of Ventrell, so hope I can rock it for a little bit. It looks like
Ventrell we trust.
We do, and hopefully he can, just squeeze out on Shaq there. We'll see on Shaq Quarterman, who was a draft pick in 2020 from the Miami Hurricanes. I mean, it's a no-brainer to me who I would keep. But I don't make the big-time decisions. So we'll see. Again, it comes down to Tuesday. Caleb Johnson, they're saying he's a lock because of his special teams advantage. Again, I'm hoping that Ventrell will get the job done, though.
Yeah, so I think Ventrell is kind of in a safe spot there at the 4 position, okay? Because obviously, I just don't see him cutting him that early. They know what they have in Shaq Quarterman, and I think they give old Ventrell Miller the run.
Say that again. You broke up.
I said, I think that they know what they have in Shaq Quarterman, and they cut him and let Ventrell survive here
because the upside, right? They
yeah,
know what they're getting. Sure,
they know what they have in Quarterman, and they obviously drafted Ventrell for a reason. You don't just draft him for shits and gigs
to fight for a spot. Makes sense. Makes sense. But yeah, look, everything else seems pretty in tune with what we thought would happen. I mean, those were kind of the big positions, the edge and wide receivers. So when do give you guys a little updates on that? Let us know down in the comments what you think. Maybe we missed something on those projections, but love to hear from you. Real quick before we move on, we've got a few comments here I want to go over. Garrett Bull, what's going on? Taylor says, is Shelton dyslexic? I think so. I honestly think I am at times. Godspeed, what's up, baby? How you doing, man? I am giving the Freddie T ball away sometime this week, probably Tuesday, if I had to guess, because I want to give it away Wednesday night, I think, is how I plan to do it. So I'll announce it Tuesday for the Freddie Taylor signed Gator football. Thing's sick. But yeah, we will see about that. Next up, we got Anthony Richardson. Had a little bit of a preview last game. We saw him. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, so right off the bat, because I already know that people are going to say that we're hating. I'm not hating. No, I gave him a C. I gave him a C- on the Professor QB grade scale. This is why. Now, the fast and high balls are still a problem. He overthrew probably 3 or 4 or 5, a couple more. His completion percentage was not great. It was like 7 for 16.
16 for 17.
Yeah, 6 for 17. But I will tell you, he read the defense better than what he has in the past. He got out of the pocket. He rushed for 35 yards, and not just regular 35 yards, 35 big yards, and he did it and made multiple first downs, kept drives alive. They had an all-out blitz, and the blitzer had him dead to rights. He spun out of it and still made positive yards. I will say that he did have almost one pick. The guy dropped it. It should have been picked. But my only problem is the two-seamer coming down the pipe is just it's still high and hot. I will say that the RPO game is going to be a big thing. They're going to run about 85% RPOs in their offense, which is fine. He does it very well. He does kind of that. It almost looks like a little Wake Forest-ish with a slow mesh. He's learning how to do that very well. Scrambling better, not really making dumb decisions, minus the one throw that he forced in there, almost got picked off. He did look better this week. The numbers don't show it, but there was vast improvement of what I saw. And he was setting his feet in the pocket better and throwing instead of being off platform like what we talked about last week.
And look, for Anthony, I think we're in a weird place because I think things are turning in his favor now because of the controversy with Jonathan Taylor and requesting to trade. If you look at the wide receiver room, Michael Pittman Jr. is their best one by far. He's not horrible by any stretch, but he would probably be a 2 on a really solid team with wide receivers. Josh Downs was a first-round draft pick, I think. Second-round draft pick. Third-round draft pick from this year from North Carolina. So you got a rookie wide receiver there, which those guys tend to have, could be something, but there's the unknown there. Then you got Alec Pierce He was a second-round pick the year before that from Cincinnati. So, again, a lot of young talent at wide receiver core, which doesn't mean anything horrible, but just at a very young group of guys. The reason I bring that up is because that's going to favor Anthony in the sense of having patience for him. And I don't think the fan base might, but you got to think about the coach. I think the GM, everyone's going to have a ton of patience for the situations going on, especially if Jonathan Taylor gets traded, because that was, in my opinion, I feel like somebody that was kind of keeping the whole thing together that give you a competitive advantage. Something else was when I was watching the game, just watching him run, reminded me of Lamar Jackson's first year. Nobody knew how to cover him because it was just such a talent pull back there, and it's not your typical quarterback. It's just the guy can run over everybody, and then before you know it, he's 10 yards past you. So that's going to allow them to, to have an advantage. How quickly will teams figure it out? Since Lamar, other quarterbacks have came into the league with that ability. So teams are more likely to be prepared for that now. But that doesn't mean they still don't know how they're going to handle it with him. Again, losing, we don't know if Jonathan's going to be traded or not. I doubt he plays, but we'll see. And look, I think in a weird way, regardless of how the season goes, I have been preaching this entire time that I wanted him to sit behind somebody to learn the ropes. With how the team is, I think if I'm the coach, I'm the GM, you realize this season's pretty much a wash. And I'm kind of going to eat my words here, which I said I would if I had to. He's getting that backup feel, right? Because there is no pressure to win with the starting reps. That's how I feel it's going to be, because there's no way in hell that anybody thinks the Colts are going to be competitive with just the situation that's at hand here. So,
yeah, and I will say this: the running back room is serviceable from what I saw. I mean, yeah, you don't have Taylor, but I don't think you need Taylor for Anthony. What I think you need to get some tight ends that can actually catch, and some wide receivers. They need wide receivers so bad. If I'm them, I'm trying to pick up every wide receiver that has a plus side to them. Once these 53-man cuts happen, I think Tuesday.
What happens Tuesday?
I think they cut to 53 on Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday's the final day. Yes, correct.
Yeah. So you go through the waiver and you just try to get any guy you can get that's going to be better than what they have, because there's a lot of drops. There was just no separation. That's another thing too, is a lot of the catches are so contested because they don't have any separation. They really don't have any speed.
Sure. So we got a little debate here in the chat. Mr. Nobody is a big believer. He's the one that claims us to be a hater all the time. Muddy thinks he regressed
He's also
a little.
legally blind.
That is true. It's kind of how much can we can we take him for his word here? We'll see. Look, I think we got to understand, Mr. Nobody. We want him to be successful too, and again, I think he'll have some time to adapt. No, it's August 29th for sure. It's not August 31st. That's when the Gators play, Mr. Nobody. Yeah, he can't see. He's lost all credibility at this point. I love it. Good stuff. Again, happy to have all you guys here. Good to see you. See your beautiful faces. Let's do the rookie roundup. Let's kind of keep this going here. Obviously, CJ, Bryce, Will Levis, who did not play. Quick little roundup of those boys for their last preseason game. All teams that are in a rebuild cycle currently.
Yeah, for sure. So CJ Stroud is pending because he plays tonight at 8:05. They kick off versus
off
the
then.
Saints. Yeah. So that they're so I have Bryce. It's the rookie roundup kind of. So Bryce Young looked good. He did scramble more than what he has in the past. And he looked better than what he has. I gave him a B for the Professor QB grade. I will tell you, him and Adam Thielen have a special connection, and it seems like Thielen is trying to rejuvenate his career there down in Carolina, and I think that's going to be a good possible wide receiver 3 on the fantasy team if you guys have a fantasy draft coming. Yeah, I'm bringing it all.
Look, I think there's an advantage too of having a veteran wide receiver core in that group. It's like a Randall Cobb for the Jets, which we're going to get into a little bit. That's, in my opinion, what Anthony is missing. Somebody like that is just a professional at the game. Adam Thielen, I mean, the reason he's lasted so long is because of how great of a wide receiver he is. So for Bryce Young to have somebody to lean on, a pacifier, it's just like a tight end would be, is huge for allowing him to be successful and allowing him to develop into that role at quarterback. And I think, again, you haven't been overly high on Bryce, but his composure in the pocket since day one has always been there. And I think that's where your grade for a B is definitely leaning towards, because, again, he does look extremely comfortable back there and throws a phenomenal ball when he can see over the 6-foot lineman.
Yeah, for sure. And I will say this is where he got the bump. I had him at a C+, but I gave him the B because he made several scrambles to keep the drive alive. And that's big game stuff, because it's all numbers. You got to keep the drive alive. You can't go 3 and out. And that's why I gave Bryce the B today.
No, Taylor, Mariota is in the Eagles. They gave him $5 million guaranteed to be Hurts' backup, and I don't think he's going to make the cut either. He's had an atrocious summer from what I was reading. Not that this goes with this, but so on. And our boy out in L.A., Stetson, not looking like the stud he was week 1 when we were praising him. He's kind of dropped off a little bit. The hype has diminished.
Yeah, come back to reality, bud.
Yeah. So I mean, my words on that too as well. But it is what it is. I don't mind. Next up, we got Hard Knocks. Look, it's been fun to watch. There can't be too many more episodes, right? It's just the preseason. So there are 2 more episodes.
Yeah, probably 2 or 3. They might sneak into the first official game week of.
Going it probably the last one will be going into week 1. So they'll
have. So we're a week behind, obviously, because Dalvin just got there in this episode.
Okay, so maybe 3 more then, I'm thinking, because we should have this Tuesday another will come out. Next Tuesday will be this week. The following Tuesday. Okay, yeah, so maybe 4 more. 3 or 4 more. Okay. So not too shabby. Yeah, I want to see the Dalvin Cook and what he's what he's going to bring to the table. But I'm excited to see this Tuesday because, we won't get this game. Next Tuesday we'll get this preseason game where Aaron was running for his life every play. He did throw a touchdown pass though, correct? To Garrett Wilson. Yeah, Muddy just confirmed he did.
Yes. Yep. And so that was against the crosstown rival, the Giants. And so let's get into this. Dalvin Cook makes his first appearance on Hard Knocks after being picked up last week or so in free agency. And then Randall Cobb warns the wide receivers, not Wilson, but some of the depth guys, that, if you don't tighten up, it's not going to be good for you because Aaron's not going to throw you the ball. And he's starting to Aaron's starting to seem to go back to his old Aaron ways, and made a snarky comment to the head coach and the offensive coordinator. That play fucking sucks, and we keep running it, and I don't understand it. It just doesn't work out of that package. What the fuck are we even doing? I think was the exact quote. Cupcake. The honeymoon is over.
I love it. I love the spiciness. But yeah, I mean, look, Buddy's been running for his life. The Randall Cobb thing was interesting because he, in his interview, he's like, I wasn't sure if I was going to retire. I wasn't sure if Rodgers was going to retire. Like, Cobb's been in the league since I was born. And when I'm watching Cobb play, I'm like, how's this guy still playing, bro? And you got to think, like, is Cobb's got to be like the last guy on the depth chart, but he's there because it's Rodgers' guy kind of thing. And for that veteran presence, like, there's no way Cobb sees the field, right? Like, do we believe that he sees the field?
Not a lot, and he's kind of injury prone the last 2 years. He's getting older. I think they brought him in almost just
those glassy blue eyes, just to kind of soothe everybody over. But look, I think he is a big factor, just like he said. Like, hey, if he doesn't like you, he's not going to throw to you. And if there's somebody you listen to, it's going to be Cobb, who had the ball thrown to him a ton by Aaron Rodgers and throughout the years, and made a career by being Aaron Rodgers' wide receiver. And Tom Brady was the same way, but it is. You know what's funny? I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he was talking. He said, "Look, he's like, I think Aaron Rodgers is overrated." And watching this doc, you see a few guys and younger guys, man, it's the GOAT. It's Aaron Rodgers. Like, easy. Like, when I hear that, I'm like, I get where you're coming from. Like, it's a legend of the game, right? And what I was telling him, I'm like, if you have to think about it, over the last decade, right? Let's say the last 20 years or so. Maybe let's say last 20 plus years. It's been the Tom Brady show. After that, it's pretty damn close for everybody. I mean, you've got Aaron, Peyton, Drew Brees. They all have one or more. Big Ben has 2, but Big Ben's first ring was a little bit overtaken because those defenses were exceptional. Those teams were exceptional. Not to take away from Big Ben by any stretch, but you had the bus carrying the ball the whole way. You had Hines Ward on those teams. The defense again, Troy Palmer. I mean, the whole team. And you can make the same argument for Tom, but Tom did it for 2 decades. And so for me, how I was explaining, I was like, look, I get where you're coming from. Like, Aaron hasn't done anything exceptional, but he's also had to compete during that Tom Brady era. So after Tom, yeah, he's still considered one of the greatest because of, for what he was given.
Aaron also hasn't had a defense like what he has with the Jets. I don't think ever.
Yeah, but now it seems like he doesn't have an offensive line. So, I mean, I agree with you. I agree. Yes, the other side of the ball is incredible. But I don't know, like if they go out there and they have these same woes that they're having during the Hard Knocks and now this game on O-line, it's like you guys dropped the ball because you thought Zach Wilson was the problem. But if Rodgers is getting pissed off, then what's your excuse now? You clearly ignored the issue. You went and paid all the money to the wrong pieces.
Yeah, I agree. And there's only so much money to go around. I think Aaron's kind of savvy though. He'll make it work. Now he's going to be very vocal about how if the offensive line is sucking, he's going to let them know for sure, 100%. So it's one of those things, and I don't think we've seen the offensive line as a whole perfectly yet. I think there's a couple guys.
And I was wondering that too. Real quick, super extreme hypothetical here, overreaching here. If for any reason the Jets are they're halfway through the season and they're struggling, do you see Rodgers just walking off saying "F it, I'm done"? If they're battling and they're losing games they shouldn't be losing, and it's just not going the way that he wants it.
I'm gonna tell you, he's not gonna put up with the O-line if he gets hit as much as Kirk got hit last season.
That's what I'm saying. He's just like, dude, what are we doing here? I didn't come here to get my ass kicked. I'm 95 years old. This isn't what I signed up for. I came here to be competitive and win a Super Bowl, and I'm fighting for my life to beat the Houston Texans or whoever it may be, whoever decides to play that week. But yeah, it's going to be something to watch. It's crazy how from week 1 I watch Hard Knocks. I'm like, they're going to the Super Bowl. So now we're a week 3. I'm like, Buddy might not finish the season. I don't know. This is the emotions of Sheldon Walker, by the way. Like, you wait till you come watch. Wait till game day. This is just the ups and downs of a roller coaster.
So do you think this is the best season of Hard Knocks ever?
I love the Rams one. I love Sean McVay. Just kind of getting to know him more. Huh?
The Cowboys one was good.
The Cowboys one was really good because Zeke and Dak, it was just a good group of guys. I think the talent pool was good.
Right.
I mean, I feel like
they had that brand new facility.
Yeah, the brand was better, right? The brand of players was much cooler. Sauce Gardner and Garrett, they're exciting, but they don't have the big brand yet to where you're like, yeah, that's, you know what I mean? Like that, it's growing. But if Aaron Rodgers wasn't there, it would not be nearly as exciting, is my point. So he's carrying a lot of the load of what's making it exciting. It definitely has dipped off from that first episode. Now bringing Dalvin Cook and kind of could fire things back up, and we'll see how it goes. But I kind of find myself dozing off a little bit the last few episodes. I'm not going to be honest. It's not really driving me in like the quarterback show was. The quarterback show was what's much more exciting. But I mean, as it should be.
I do have one question for you. If they don't win a Super Bowl with Rodgers, and Wilson develops into the quarterback he should have been, is it a loss? Is it a loss? Because he's taken leaps and strides already. That's apparent.
If they don't win with Rodgers and Rodgers leaves, but Zach steps up and they're still competitive, then yes, you can say, yeah, it was worth it. For sure. I think you could. Because I don't think you made this trade assuming that it would be a long-term sick play. But if it turned into a long-term play because Zach is able to get better, then yeah, I think it was a double win, for sure.
Just something to think about, guys.
Yeah, it was a good question. Keeping us on our toes. Crazy one here, man. Trey Lance, this unbelievable dude gets traded to the Cowboys for a 4th-round draft pick after they sold the farm to trade up to draft this young man from South Dakota State. I remember when it happened. I was just flabbergasted. Wasn't this a Zach Wilson draft class too? Or am I just getting too rambunctious at this point about it?
No, I don't think it was. I can't remember what draft class it was. But they did sell the farm, and then as I was telling you in the precast, John Lynch just said, we just finally had to admit it. We messed up. He wasn't going to work here.
It went Trevor, Zach, Trey. God, I'm good. I am just dialed in. Listen to this. Trevor, Zach, and then Trey. So the Niners, who at the time had Jimmy Garoppolo, okay, passed up on Kyle Pitts. They've got George Kittle. But imagine if you had Pitts and Kittle. Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, any one of those guys. Devontae Smith, they passed up on. Micah Parsons. Could you imagine Micah Parsons on that defense?
Yeah.
Woo!
Smith. Is that the Jefferson draft class too?
The JJ didn't go with Jamar.
Yeah.
JJ was before Jamar. He was one before.
No, Devontae. Was he part of the Devontae Smith?
Yeah.
What was the other wide receivers?
Yeah, Jamar, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, Kadarius Toney, who went to the New York, Najee Harris, which at the time I think their running back class wasn't. They could have used their good running back, honestly. I think the better pick would have either been Jamar or Micah Parsons, to be honest with you. And they traded up to go take a from North Dakota State, North Dakota State University. I remember being mind blown when he got drafted. And this just goes, the same reason why they drafted Trey Lance was the same reason why I knew Anthony was going to go as high as he did. Again, this isn't a shot towards Anthony, but these GMs feel like college kids don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to handle the situation. We know that this kid can throw, et cetera, blah, 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 blah. And Josh Allen, I think, may have probably sold the farm a little bit, coming from Wyoming. They saw what he did. I don't know. I don't feel like there was enough there. Again, I didn't watch Trey Lance at South Dakota State. Don't know if you, or North Dakota State. Don't know if you did, but
no, I didn't.
And I know that as North Dakota State and South Dakota State, those football teams are nasty. They go after it every single year. If the 49ers don't make it deep, then Shanahan might be fired. No way. Look, here's the one thing. The Niners did all of this. They traded the entire farm to go get Trey Lance, and they still made it as far as they did last year with Brock Purdy at the helm. So that trade, I don't know if you're going to notice, the impact it's had right away. The next 2 years, I think we'll be able to see. But if they're competitive again next year, which they have a very good reason to be, there's no reason why. I think that's a shot. I think it's a stretch. You don't almost make the Super Bowl the last 3 years and then have a down year and get canned because of that one poor draft pick. You just don't.
I do ask you this though: if Kyle Shanahan can't fix him, you really think Mike McCarthy is going to develop him?
I don't know where the Cowboys were like, yeah, we'll take him for a fourth round. I mean, I guess that if you imagine he comes out and goes, yeah, we messed up, and then he still trade him. Like they don't care. Like they don't care about the value. If you come out and you say that publicly, or he did say it after the fact.
He said after the fact. He said, yeah, it's time to admit that we messed up and he wasn't a fit here.
Brutal.
And he's a great kid, the typical stuff, but yeah, we messed up.
I wonder if it's more of a scheme. I mean, look, I wonder if it's more of just a scheme thing. Maybe that's what it was. But you don't if it's a scheme thing, you don't just get a fourth round draft pick. It's got to be more than that.
Yeah.
Look, coming off an injury doesn't help either. He played 6 games last year, threw 5 touchdowns, 2 picks, completion rate of like 56%. So it wasn't anything lights out. But why do you let go of Jimmy G? You had to have a feeling. Now he got a lot of money from LA, so you probably don't feel that good paying him. But Jimmy G, I would still rather pay Jimmy G now, knowing that you traded Trey Lance away. Wouldn't you rather have Jimmy G and Brock kind of go at it? Or I guess if Brock is that much better than Jimmy G, you don't want to pay somebody to sit on the bench. I'm thinking Jimmy G starts if it's Jimmy G versus Brock. There's no way that he loses that.
What I think they're doing is they're trying to do the number one. Kyle Shanahan thinks that his offense is the best offense in the league. I'm not going to say it is or it isn't, but I think what they are doing is they are loading up everywhere else, which they have a nasty defense. They have a good offense. They have a good offensive line. I think they load up everywhere else. Kyle Shanahan is going to say, hey, I'm going to draft a quarterback or two every single year, and we're going to make this thing work, and they're just going to rotate. As soon as Purdy his rookie deal is over, they're going to shit can him and go
Plug a
with
new
the
guy
next
in.
guy. Yep, and I think Trey Lance just wasn't picking it up fast enough. He was running out of time on his rookie deal, and they shit canned him before the 5th-year option.
I mean, you got to just be punching yourself because this is probably one of the better drafts talent wise. I mean, Trevor Lawrence obviously huge, but Pitts, Jamar Chase, Waddle, Patrick Surtain, Devontae Smith, Micah Parsons. I mean, there's other quarterback like Mac Jones, Justin Fields, but I'm not even thinking about quarterback. I'm just other positions they could have went in on that would have improved. Kadarius Toney would be like another Deebo Samuel to the team. Najee Harris at the time they didn't have C-Mac.
Again,
And
they probably wouldn't have had to trade.
Yeah, because they were running the two like the two backs in Miami. That's who they had. I can't think of their names at the moment, but
yeah,
I don't know, man. A ton of talent. So that one's got to sting a little bit in the sense of what you missed out on. But woo, Jack's the Super Bowl, baby. Let's go. I live in Jack. Let's go, boys. Hell yeah, Frederick. I'm loving it, baby.
They did find a guy in the 7th round, and Purdy.
Was it 7th round, like last pick? I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Mr.
Mr. Irrelevant,
whatever they call it.
Adrian says Jimmy's jawline was too sharp to keep. I agree with that. Adrian says, "Okay, can we move on from the draft?" it's still stinging, Adrian. I see. my bad, bub. Josh Jacobs was another one. He signed it. He finally signed. We've got that. Could this be his last year with the silver and black? You got to think so with the 1 year, $12 million. At least he got paid though. At least he got his cheddar.
Held out for that $1 extra million. I guess it matters to him. Same deal as what Barkley signed. So 1 year, $12 million. I think it's fully guaranteed. But I don't see it lasting past this.
Yeah, I think they're wanting too much to not play. I don't know.
Truthfully, he's got to have another good year. He can't just kind of throw in the towel because he's going to be on the free agent market again next year. So it's one of them things.
For sure, big guy. Next up, we've got hold 'em and fold 'em. Have you got the receipts, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me.
I got them. All right. So Patriots make the playoffs.
Not a chance.
At all?
No, no, not at all.
Does Belichick get fired then?
We talked about that a little bit. That you got to think that's coming to an end here soon. Let me look here. Let me take a look at the division. So we got the Bills, the Jets, the Dolphins, and then the Patriots. I just don't see them. There's no way. And if we do a wild card, right? I mean, let's think. So let's say the Jags win it. Chiefs win the AFC West. So you got 1, 2. North, we'll give it to the Bengals or the Ravens. So 2 teams are going to come out of the North. I have to say the Ravens and the Bengals, right? So there's 2 teams right there. And then you got to think there's probably 2 teams out of the East. It's got to be either the Buffalo Bills, the Jets, or the Dolphins. And then the Chargers probably are going to be there. Yeah, no way. No shot. No how. Not making it.
Do you think it's Bills last year if they have a terrible season again?
Bill
Belichick.
Bill
Belichick. Yeah, because Patriot fans are not gonna. And we talked about it a couple weeks ago that the expectation is Super Bowl.
Yeah, look, I think, I mean, the Patriots fans are spoiled, kind of like Gator fans, and
Robert Kraft, the owner, wants a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I just don't see it happening. I mean, do you move on from Bill? I don't know. I don't think so. I think Bill probably has at least 1 more year. Just I think for what he's done, his longevity, but we'll see. I don't think so. I don't think they make it, but I don't think he's fired.
Is Bill a one-trick pony?
Could he be outdated? Because is that what you're asking me? Where it's kind of like it could be like the Urban thing, where it's like his tactics worked for a while, they did, but now they're outdated and it's not going to work anymore, and he's too old to adjust. Could be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Giants make the playoffs.
Oh, wrong one. Oh, geez. Oh, this is the NFC. Hold on. I'm not as against that. Because, I mean, look, so NFC North will be one team, probably. I don't know. Vikings and Lions will be going at it. Packers, I mean, Jordan Love looked pretty good. You have one team from the South barely limping in. You have one team from the West, probably the Niners again, to be honest, because that division's atrocious. So you got 1, 2. Yeah, I like the Giants. They made it there last year. Daniel Jones is their guy. The people are buying in on Daniel. Saquon's getting paid. I don't hate it. I don't think the Commanders are going to get it done. I think the Cowboys are on the slippery slope. Eagles are still going to do well, but yeah, I like the Giants. I like them making playoffs. That's an easy one. Yeah.
And next up, lastly, the Bears. Can they go 500 this year?
Not even the playoffs, just 500, huh? What did they go last year? What did they do last year? Can you tell me that?
I think they had 3 wins.
No, was that bad last year?
Yeah.
Let me look at their schedule. Let me give you off the dome here real quick. All right, so week 1's against the Packers. There's an L. Week 2 is against Tampa. I'll give them that one. There's one. There's a loss against the Chiefs. I think the Broncos are going to be better. There's a loss. I think they beat the Commanders. They lose to the Vikings. They lose to the Raiders. I don't know, bud. Doesn't look good. Yeah, they play the Vikings twice. That's 2 losses. The Lions are better. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Wife's going to hate that. She's a big Bears fan. Big Bears fan. But
you're not going to take the Bears for 500?
No.
Jesus.
No. What if the Jags don't win the division? Why don't you go do some eye work, Mr. Nobody? Okay. Lions and Bears will battle for that position. For what? Bears had the number 1 pick and they traded it. I mean, I know they did. He won 6 Super Bowls. They ain't firing him. That's what I was saying. I think he's got he's bought him some more time. Because who do you go get? If you go fire Bill Belichick, it's not like you're gonna just go pick up a coach to come in and flip things over. We'll see.
With Caleb Williams, trade the farm, get rid of Mac. Just saying.
Maybe we should put you in charge. Baker Mayfield win an MVP. I love it. Falcons all the way with Ritter. Easy, JT. Easy.
Yeah. Ritter can't complete a pass.
Easy. I don't think so. I just don't see it, man. I don't see it at all. All right, boys. Well,
for 500, that was a give me.
What's that?
That Bears one.
You think it's over 500?
I don't know. They're bad, but you don't think?
I think who they play is too tough, bro. I'm not trying to be a hater. I just think the schedule's a little brutal. That's all I'm saying.
Vikings are not going to collapse this year. Nice try, buddy.
Don't hate on my Kirk Cousins like that, bro. Kirk Cousins is the man. Let's do this, boys. We're gonna do the giveaway for the Shane Matthews signed photo here. We've got 102 submissions. Right now we're doing a Brandon race. What else do you want me to do, Cody?
The Ducks are rigged, man.
Just because you suck at picking Ducks doesn't mean anything. Yeah, Bears are trash, bro. I agree, JT. I think it's a good hold 'em or fold 'em. Who wins more games, the Falcons or the Bears? I'll take the Falcons to win more games than the Bears. Put it down. Write it down.
All right, I'll write that
down. You're making Jason upset. He goes, "Get the F out of here with Lincoln. You better keep Belichick around your defense." Bro, Jason, you lose credibility when you hate on Lincoln Riley. The guy's a G. He's a phenomenal head coach. Okay, he'll figure out the defense. You just relax. Let my boy do his work. All right, my boy do the Lord's work. All right, boys. So we're gonna do the duck race here for the signed Shane Matthews picture here. All right, 102 ducks lined up, ready to rock and roll. On your marks, get set, go. And they are off. Hopefully it's a low number, so I'm not sitting here counting for days here. Of course, the 97 duck.
97?
The COVID duck on the run there. Grandma duck
number 4.
Number 4. Who's going to be the number 4? Is it? Here comes the 47 out of nowhere.
47 regular duck.
This is a nail biter. 102. 102. Bro, get the F out of here. The last person to retweet it is going to win the Shane Matthews signed picture. Unbelievable. 102. 102, and it was Gator Nation. 102 right here. Gator Nation 247. Hold on, let me share my screen so you guys can see it so you don't think I'm lying to you. Look at this. This is the last person to retweet it here. I gotta cover your face, Cody. Sorry. Sorry, Cody. So you can see me talking. Look at this. JT, you were look how close you were, JT. Look at JT. JT's got to be punching Eric. Is he commenting? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Got to shoot him a message here.
We could probably just have a whole show of duck races, and it'd be just as entertaining as our regular show.
Shoot him a message there. Good stuff to Gator Nations there. Incredible stuff there for him. Wow. What a race there. What a race there. How are we idiots, Jason? I came on your show the other night. We were nobody was on your side. I don't think you're right. I don't think you're right on this either. Yeah, JT, you were there. You were there, buddy. Tell me about my motherfucking credibility, motherfucker. You can't. You get blinded.
He doesn't like leaking. He doesn't.
You
like
get
leaking.
blinded about the Lincoln Riley nonsense.
I think Lincoln could probably be successful with this offense in the NFL.
I think he's a phenomenal head coach. Just saying. You can't hate on him because you know at one point you loved him. At one point you defended him as if it was your honor. So that's the problem here. If I could go back and see up those videos and see you defend him and his lack of defense, you probably are brushing it off. That's the part that I know that you were all in on old Link. He knows I'm right.
It's like an ex-wife.
Yeah, right? You loved her at one point. There's something you saw in her. You can't hate on it completely because you married her. They didn't cover against San Diego State. They didn't need to. They still won 52-21. Like, I love to make those arguments. I argue with my buddy all the time. He's a big USC fan. I would love to make that argument. Oklahoma never played defense either, but you guys were so competitive every single year until you got to the playoffs. That just is what it is. When you score 60 points a game, it doesn't matter if the other team scores 25. You know what I mean? So, we'll see. But boys and girls, thank you for stopping by. No evidence of that. I know there probably isn't any evidence, but you know I'm right, which is all that I need for me to feel good about it. Boys and girls, it's football week. Good show. Good stuff there. Well done. Happy to have all of you guys here. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. We're 50 away, boys. 50 away. Let's see if we got any new subs while we're on the show here. 50 away.
Phenomenal call-in show last night.
Oh, the call-in show was top notch. The call-in shows are only going to heat up from here. We're 49 away. 41 away.
Go take a Xanax after
Sorley.
Chris Sorley got me all worked up.
So it was 21-14 at the half. So Jason, I wish I could have, but Pac-12 obviously doesn't know how to manage their TV rights, so it wasn't on TV for me. I wanted to watch, trust me. And I'll go back and I'll watch the highlights so I can be knowledgeable of it. And I know it was close. I was keeping up with it. I would have loved for them to lose. It would have been fun for them to lose, but they still won. Who cares what happens at halftime? I get it. I know what you're trying to say. You're getting upset about it. Simmer down. All right, boys and girls, be good. Happy to have all of you here as always. Love you. Until next time, go Gators. Absolutely, JT. Sorry you couldn't get it done, man. You were so close. So close. Thank you for the 102 duck for winning, though. It saved me some time for counting. I love that. Be good, boys. Sleep tight. Football is here this week. It's football week. Let's have some damn fun. God bless. Like and subscribe. See ya.
All the shit you don't do, well, I'ma make hella shit.